You know when you pick up a vinyl record and you look at the back, or maybe you peer at the label in the middle, and you're just hit with this wall of text, all these codes and acronyms? It feels like you need some kind of secret decoder ring just to figure it out. But what if I told you that all that seemingly boring data actually tells a really fascinating story? A story of how it was made, where it's been, and its journey through time. I mean, just look at this. What on earth does any of it even mean? SACM, MPPV, a circled letter A. It honestly just looks like a bunch of gibberish, right? But these are actually clues. They're little fragments of a much bigger story. And it's hidden in plain sight on a record you might even have in your own collection. So today, we're going to be detectives. We're going to take all these cryptic codes and piece together the secret biography of one single vinyl record. Let's dive in. Now, the record we're putting under the microscope today is an absolute classic, a masterpiece loved by millions all over the world. We are going to be taking a close look at a French pressing of ABBA's iconic 1977 release, The Album. So let's start with the easy stuff, the basics. The artist is ABBA, the album is The Album, it's a stereo vinyl LP, and this particular one was released in France back in 1977. This is the information that pretty much anyone can recognize. But the real story, the good stuff, is hidden in the details that most of us usually just ignore. All right, let's look past the basic ID info. The liner notes, that's where we meet the cast of characters who really brought this music to life. Of course, you've got the track list. These are the songs we all know, the songs we all love. But this is just the finished product. The liner notes, they reveal the full story of how these songs even came to be. And here they are, the whole team. You've got the masterminds, Benny and Bjorn, who wrote, arranged, and produced everything. You have the legendary engineer Michael Tretto, the guy who crafted that signature ABBA sound. Then there are the incredible session musicians who laid down those unforgettable bass lines and drum beats. And hey, even the designer who created the album's entire visual look. You know, it really does take a village to make a classic album. And check this out. This one simple line from the notes, it gives the music a physical home. It tells us these songs weren't just beamed in from outer space. They were born in specific rooms, in real studios in Stockholm, Sweden. It totally grounds the album in a real time and a real place. Okay, so we've talked about the music. Now let's shift gears and talk about the physical object itself. See, a record isn't just a container for sound, it's a manufactured product. And just like any product, it has these little identifying marks that tell their own unique story. So first up is the label. This is just the company that put the record out. The easiest way to think about it is like the publisher of a book. For this French pressing, it was released by Melba and Vogue PIP, who actually licensed the music from ABBA's original home label. Next, you've got the catalog number. This is basically the label's internal ID code for this specific release. A good way to think of it is like a passport number. ILDA 20318 uniquely identifies this French version of the album in Vogue's entire catalog. No other record has that number. It's one of a kind. And now we get to the most mysterious clue of all, the matrix or runout code. This is the text that's physically etched into that blank space of vinyl near the center label. It is, for all intents and purposes, the record's unique fingerprint. It tells us exactly which factory manufactured this specific copy. That code, MPP, points to the manufactured at Productions Phonographic Vogue, a pressing plant in France. And trust me, these details are so important. For instance, collectors were able to identify an early Italian pressing of ABBA's album Arrival just because of a simple typo. The track time for Money, Money, Money was wrong. A later pressing corrected it. It's these tiny, tiny details that are exactly how collectors can tell one version from another. So there we have it. We've decoded all the clues. We've met the creators, we've figured out the object's publisher, and we have found its unique fingerprint. We have all the pieces of the puzzle now. We can actually put together the complete life story of this one specific record. And here's the complete journey. Back in 1977, the music was recorded in Stockholm. Then, the master tapes were sent all the way to France, where this exact vinyl copy was pressed at that MPPV plant and then released by the Vogue label. And today it sits in a private collection. We've just traced its entire life, from the moment of creation all the way to its current home. Okay, so after all that detective work, you might be asking, what's the big deal? Why should I care about all these tiny details? Well, because understanding them completely changes your relationship with the music you love. Look, when you stream a song, you get the music, and that's fantastic. But you don't get the artifact. You don't get the physical object that was made in a specific place, at a specific time, by a whole team of people. A record. A record is a time capsule. It connects you directly to the moment it was made. It makes the music a tangible piece of history that you can actually hold in your hands. And hey, all these details, they have a real-world impact. The exact pressing, its condition, its rarity, all of that determines its value to collectors. For this specific French pressing of the album, sales data shows it can go for anything from less than $2 to almost $14, all depending on these exact factors we've been talking about. So the next time you hold a record, don't just look at the cover. Really look at it. Check the liner notes, find that catalog number, and hunt for that secret little fingerprint in the runout groove. Every single record has a story. Go find out what story your favorite album has to tell.